All.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN.
Yeah, it's real.
Get spotted with an SRP Spotted sticker and get $100. That's right, it's that easy. Get your SRP Spotted sticker or magnet from any SRP location and you could be spotted and win $100. Follow us on Facebook for even more chances to win with Spot Me SRP. Good things are happening at SRP.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert. This month is yes. You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
We're watching some potential severe weather that could impact your Thanksgiving travel plans. Our first alert weather meteorologist Hannah Harding will break down what's going on in just a few minutes.
But first, former First Lady Rosalind Carter may be gone, but her impacts on our country will not fade anytime soon. One of her many achievements includes the push for better mental health care.
And keep in mind, this was during a time when there was a huge stigma surrounding the topic of mental illness, even more than now. Our Audrey Dickerber is live in our newsroom. And Audrey, you spoke to someone today from a local mental health care center on how Rosalind's campaigning helped the industry.
Not many people advocated for mental health back then like Rosalind Carter did, especially during her husband's presidency. She played a big part in passing the 1980 Health Institutions Act, which helped those who were unable to receive mental health services. She also paved the way for advocates and tried to decrease the stigma behind those who struggled with various mental illnesses. Georgia Family Crisis Solutions and Counseling Center says she is an inspiration for their center and part of the reason why they do what they do to this day. They're actively creating new ways to help their patients, such as different types of therapy, counseling, awareness events, and much more. Even though there is more awareness for mental health today, they say it's important to continue her work in order to better our community.
Mental health awareness is so important, especially for our friends and our loved ones, because it's a silent killer. People won't speak up when they're hurting, when they have anxiety or depression, or they're ashamed at what they're going through. Our past, plays a lot of who we are today, and adults still struggle with that. They still struggle with who they are.
Coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, you'll hear when they recommend getting a mental health checkup and more about how Mrs. Carter helped mental health institutions.
All right, thanks, Audrey. It's pretty much unknown how many lives she saved over the years by bringing this awareness to the country, but it is absolutely certain that she did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, Rosalind Carter lies in repose at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum. Members of the public are invited to pay their respects there. A formal funeral is set for next Wednesday, November 29th in Plains, Georgia.
We're talking about what?
Thanks, Mikkel. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office is searching for a suspect wanted for sexual assault charges. 23-year-old Dazon Paget of Beach Island is wanted for 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor and sexual exploitation of a minor. Investigators say it stems from an investigation that began back in July. If you know where Paget is, call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office.
Developing out of Grovetown tonight, a 7th grade science teacher from Grovetown Middle School is reportedly facing charges for fraud in South Carolina. Now, in a letter sent to parents today, administrators say on Friday they were notified Kimberly Barnes was arrested. Anyone with information related to this case is asked to call law enforcement. We are working to learn more tonight about the details of this investigation.
In just a handful of weeks, state lawmakers will be back in Columbia to tackle issues facing South Carolinians. One of those challenges affecting hundreds of thousands of students and families across the state is the worsening teacher shortage.
Our State House reporter Mary Green
That South Carolina state line coming from Augusta. Also noticing that usual backup of cars off of exit 190 here as you are getting off for Grovetown off of Interstate 20 westbound, and then Watson Way near 15th Street. Looking pretty good here at this intersection. Traffic flowing nice and smoothly. We'll talk more about that chance for a few thunderstorms tomorrow coming up.
Thanks, Mikkel. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office is searching for a suspect wanted for sexual assault charges. 23-year-old Dazon Paget of Beach Island is wanted for 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor and sexual exploitation of a minor. Investigators say it stems from an investigation that began back in July. If you know where Paget is, call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office.
Developing out of Grovetown tonight, a 7th grade science teacher from Grovetown Middle School is reportedly facing charges for fraud in South Carolina. Now, in a letter sent to parents today, administrators say on Friday they were notified Kimberly Barnes was arrested. Anyone with information related to this case is asked to call law enforcement. We are working to learn more tonight about the details of this investigation.
In just a handful of weeks, state lawmakers will be back in Columbia to tackle issues facing South Carolinians. One of those challenges affecting hundreds of thousands of students and families across the state is the worsening teacher shortage.
Our State House reporter Mary Green explains how the groups that advocate in Columbia for educators believe it should be addressed next year.
Both the governor and the state superintendent of education have voiced their support for South Carolina raising its statewide starting salary for teachers up to $50,000 by 2026. South Carolina's 2 lead teacher advocacy groups say the legislature needs to keep working toward that in next year's budget.
We've seen states like Tennessee and Arkansas have gotten their minimum pay to $50,000. So the quicker we can get there, the better. But at minimum, we need a $2,500 raise to the statewide minimum salary schedule to keep us on track for reaching the goal of the governor by 2026.
That would bring the starting salary up to $45,000. But both the Palmetto State Teachers Association and the South Carolina Education Association reiterate raising pay alone won't fix this problem. Patrick Kelly of the PSTA points to 2 bills that the legislature has already advanced and can pick up when they return. One bill would empower teachers more in the contract process, and the other aims to get more future teachers in the pipeline by providing scholarship stipend opportunities for college education majors. Sherry East of the SCEA says they want the legislature to go beyond raising starting teacher pay.
Whatever we move it to, we want to see it be equitable across the board to make sure that everybody in the system sees something, including our support staff.
Kelly and East say their other priorities include strengthening school safety and bolstering student mental health supports, respectively. Both say addressing these areas also helps with the teacher shortage by creating better, safer working conditions for educators. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
South Carolina's legislative session will begin shortly after the holidays in early January.
Well, live at 5, you're taking a live look over Evans Town Center Park. Just a few minutes ago, the holiday decorations were officially lit there. I can't believe, again, we're this close to Thanksgiving this week, and then Christmas is right around the corner.
I know, and it's dark enough right now at 5:37 to be able to see the lights. The only thing they have not turned on yet is the Christmas tree. That will be lit on Sunday, December 3rd during the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony. But as you can see,
I have a question. You said last week, I think you said that you put your Christmas tree up already?
yes.
I don't.
Well, I'm
I
not
need a
having.
poll on who does
Okay,
that
you know
before
what?
Thanksgiving.
You know what,
Oh,
Will?
boy.
You know what,
Here
Will?
we go.
I'm not having Thanksgiving dinner at my house, so I'm not going to be eating turkey in the presence of a
I'm
Christmas
sorry.
tree.
I'm sorry.
How's
We'll
that?
wait for the Christmas tree to be lit, but it's looking good there in Evanstown Center
It helps
Park.
get festive.
Yeah, it's okay.
Come on. All right, Ebenezer Scrooge.
All right. Well, parents and guardians listen to the Richmond County School System has new math standards and wants you to give you a tool to help you and your students adjust. Next Wednesday, the 29th, there will be 3 workshops at the Hub for Community Innovation. The first is at 9:30 in the morning, with the last starting at 5. You can check our website, WRDW, for more information.
You're taking a live look over the world's busiest airport. airport ahead of a very busy week of holiday travel. More than 2 million Georgians are expected to travel for Thanksgiving. That's according to AAA. Tuesday and Wednesday, those are the busiest days to fly, meaning potentially bad weather. Well, that could disrupt travel plans for tens of thousands of people. Airlines are suggesting travelers arrive 2 to 3 hours early for their flights this week.
And speaking of traveling, it's probably no surprise to you that South Carolina's roads may have some issues. Just ahead, we'll meet one man who's taking things into his own hands. Mikkel?
And we are tracking the threat for a few stronger storms tomorrow. Really more of a rain threat, though, setting up across the area for your Tuesday. We'll talk about it again coming up next.
Time and temp, brought to you.
Only the McD app.
Hey, Jill, what's the matter?
Man, this is name change is stressing me out.
Everyone will know we still specialize in Medicare.
Yeah, I know that, but what about this?
Are you 64.com?
Just in time for Black Friday.
All right, thanks, Mikkel. A new USA Today report shows South Carolina ranks 15th in the country for pothole problems,
leaving some folks in the Palmetto State to take matters into their own hands. Ali Espinosa has the story.
It's kind of like fixing a cavity in your tooth.
Dan Cinema has been fixing potholes for years in his neighborhood of Island Green after noticing city and county officials weren't doing much to patch them up.
I see every imperfection in every road that I'm driving down, and I want to fix it.
While Cinema can rely on his handiness to fix up roads, he can't always rely on his wallet, with data showing average potholes cost a little less than $500 each to fill in. That's why his neighbors have been stepping in for years, donating money for him to buy supplies and keep their streets safe. Despite the high cost of repairs, Cinema tells me looking out for himself and his neighbors is always worth it.
All I know is if something costs me a couple $100, it's a hardship. As far as if something damages my vehicle.
We've reached out to the State Department of Transportation for comment on the new report, but we have yet to hear back. However, the agency is urging you to be cautious on the roads ahead of a busy week for Thanksgiving travel, no matter whether you see potholes or not.
There are hundreds of recipe apps in the app stores. Why would you want one that doesn't have any recipes? I'm Jamie Tucker, coming up with a recipe app that just may be what you're looking for.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group. This month it's yes.
With Thanksgiving and the holidays upon us, you might be looking for recipes and ideas to prepare.
As our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker shows us, there's a better way to keep track of your family recipes and save new ones too.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
Cooks have recipes saved in cookbooks, scraps of paper, note cards, and of course online and in apps. The trouble is, how do you find a recipe that you're looking for when you've got them scattered all over the place? I found an app that lets you make your own cookbook with recipes no matter where you have them. Recipe Keeper is a recipe app with no recipes. You add them from just about any source. Let's say you run across a chicken casserole recipe on Pinterest. Rather than just pinning it there, you can save it in the Recipe Keeper app. What this does is save everything in that recipe in your personal cookbook. If you run across a recipe from a website while browsing the internet on a computer, just copy and paste the address into the Recipe Keeper web app. Each recipe you save from a smartphone, tablet, or a computer is organized in your Recipe Keeper cookbook. If you have old family recipes and cookbooks and the flour-covered index cards, you can snap a photo of them to save them in the Recipe Keeper app. Here's how the chicken casserole recipe from Pinterest shows up in the app. Very clean, very easy to read, and this recipe is for 8 servings, so you can adjust that. The ingredients will adjust as well, so the dish turns out correctly. Wherever you have recipes stored or find them online, they can be saved forever in the Recipe Keeper app, and you can access them on any smartphone or computer browser and pass down your cookbooks to the next generation. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Recipe Keeper is the app of the day.
Live at 5, you are taking a live look over in Columbia, South Carolina. Within the next hour, the South Carolina Gamecocks will continue their century-old tradition in their rivalry with the Clemson Tigers.
You don't say Clemson on here, even though I just said it, but it's called the Tiger Burn. It is a pep rally to get Gamecocks in the right spirit for the Palmetto Bowl, where they'll face off against the Tigers, Clemson's Tigers. Gamecocks will set a 32-foot tiger on fire with football team coaches and staff in attendance there. The idea of the Tiger Burn dates all the way back to 902, and it'll burn in all its glory.
And you know what? Please know that Will's comments do not represent all of News 12, NBC 26.
I'm sorry.
They just represent Will.
I'm sorry.
Tiger fans are already in the spirit of the competition. Plug your ears, Will. These are pictures showing hundreds of people gathered for the annual Cocky's funeral. As a reminder, the Palmetto Bowl will be played in Columbia Saturday. Kickoff is set for 7:30.
It should be a fun one. And in addition to tens of thousands of students, former President Donald Trump will also be in attendance for the Palmetto Bowl. This was confirmed today after rumors swirled earlier this month about a possible appearance. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster has long maintained an open invitation for Trump to attend with the governor and his wife. And that's not what, I mean, rivalry week is huge. It's going to start with one of the best rivalries in all of college football, which is obviously Michigan and Ohio State.
I knew you were going to say
that. And then we have, if everyone doesn't know by now, I'm a huge Michigan fan. Yes, the sign stealing is beside the point. We're not going to talk about that.
And a Carolina fan based on what you just did.
Carolina fan too.
So
I'm just hopping around over
the
here.
Teams. Yeah, I'm a Georgia fan, so you know the big in-state rivalry comes up. But you know what? All of this is what makes college football so special, right? And it's what a rivalry week would be. What would it be without a little incentive? This weekend, not only is Georgia and Georgia Tech fighting for bragging rights, but for the Governor's Cup.
Yeah, both of these teams have had an eventful weekend. Georgia Tech just clinched bowl eligibility for the first time in 5 years. The Dogs became the first team to go unbeaten in the SEC 3 years in a row since switching to 8 games in '92. Those are all side dishes. Saturday is all about the main meal. This matchup dates all the way back to 1893. Georgia owns the history between the two at 70, 39, and 5. Of those 39, 3 came in the span from 1998 to 2000. Tech's first-year head coach Brian Key was on that squad, and Kirby Smart was on the opposite sideline in 1998. The overlap goes a little bit deeper this year. Tech's offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner spent the last 3 seasons as a quarterbacks analyst at Georgia.
Buster's done really well offensively everywhere he's been. I mean, statistically, the reason he came here was because he wanted to get an opportunity at a bigger Power 5 school, and he got that opportunity. The thing about Buster is he never cared really who got the credit or what the role was. You know, he played a key part in helping Coach Monken with Stetson in terms of developing him.
Tech's defensive coordinator also spent time at Georgia working under Smart in his first 2 seasons as head coach. They'll play under the lights this Saturday at Bobby Dodd. We'll be right back after this.
This month is
Well, taking a live look outside of our studios off of Riverwatch Parkway, also Interstate 20, noticing a good bit of traffic out there, but at least the traffic is moving for this evening. Also still seeing some clouds, and these clouds will be sticking around with us as we head through this evening. We're looking at temperatures in those 60s right now, still some spots right around 70, just Milledgeville looks like, so temperatures are definitely falling now that the sun has officially set well before 5:30. As far as rainfall chances, we'll keep those on the isolated side before midnight tonight. As we head past midnight, though, into tomorrow morning, those rainfall chances become a little bit more widely scattered in nature, and then heading into your Tuesday afternoon, we are tracking the chance for some widespread rainfall developing at times, and not ruling out even a few rumbles of thunder as well. So it won't be a good day to get out there to play some golf tomorrow at all, as the forecast does look pretty soggy. We'll have to watch out for the potential of a stronger storm or two as well.
All right, thanks, Mikkel. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.